Living in the end is one of the most popular subjects in the law of attraction community, and it's also one that people find really difficult to actually practice. So I wanted to give you a cute new way of thinking about it, a way to wrap your mind around it so that you can be of the reality that you are creating for yourself now. That's what we're discussing in this episode of Roxy Talks. Stay tuned. What is up, my fellow dreamers and soul searchers? Thank you for joining me here for another episode of Roxy Talks, where we discuss confidence, mindset, manifestation, and more. I am Roxy Lee. I'm a mindset coach, and I'm here to help you banish your negative thinking and limiting doubts so you can bring love, clarity, and joy into your life. If you'd like to sign up for one-on-one coaching so we can discuss your specific issues, you can sign up at roxytalks.com. I've also got exclusive merch, podcasts, and more. That's all at roxytalks.com. You can also join me on social media. I am on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So living in the end, manifesting the middle, setting your intention and not digging up the seed. I hear a lot about this stuff in my one-on-one sessions with people. And I understand that there are a lot of stories out there. There's a lot of channels. There's a lot of videos explaining this weird phenomenon that at the heart of it, nobody really understands, including me, right? I don't really know what's going on. I just am using what science says is going on, combined with what all the religions of the world have always told us, and shaping my ideas about it, using that to experiment in my own life and to help my clients experiment in their own life, see what works for me, lean into it, make adjustments, cut the stuff that doesn't work, and make this an actual practice. It's one thing to just live in the end, to just know that everything is working out for you. But that doesn't help you get through the tough moments when you're spiraling. That doesn't help you get through the moments when you don't know how to get from one second to the next. Some days it's really easy to imagine that, right? Oh, I got mine right now. Sometimes it's really easy to feel that ring on your finger, right? I actually have one. Sometimes it is easy to feel like your person is right there next to you. Sometimes you are really embodying that ideal version of yourself and it's done, got it, living in the end, doing it, thanks. But other times it's really hard because you have thoughts coming in and coming in and coming in and you're just bombarded with it and they won't stop no matter how many positive affirmations you launch at it in opposition, they don't go away. I get it. You're not alone. This happens to literally everybody. Literally everybody experiences this, okay? Including me, including my clients, including other people who are really good at manifesting. Everybody experiences this because that's what humanity is like. This is just how we are. And that's what makes this stuff so irrelevant is because this is just part of being a human. It's like taking out the trash, taking a shower, brushing your teeth. That shit never stops. You're never gonna stop doing that. You're never gonna have to stop doing maintenance on your body. Same goes with your mind. This never stops. So make it a practice so that you don't have to worry about it later on in life. It's just the thing that you do. You just control your thoughts because that's just how we think and it's no effort put towards it. Once you make it a habit, there's no more effort towards it. You don't have to try so hard. It's just, again, it's maintenance. It's just keeping it going, keeping the floors clean, sweeping up the corners, dusting off the shelves. That's all. It's just what you have to do. So we know that the circumstances don't matter. We know that the stuff is going to come. The doubts, the fears, the insecurities are going to come. But that doesn't stop us from still being the version that we want to be now. That doesn't stop us from embodying where we're going now because that is what is required for us to get there. In order for us to get where we want to go, we have to be where we want to go now, right? It sounds really weird, but that's how it works. If it's a mirror, which it is, since it's a mirror, whatever you hold up in front of it is what you get in your life. So if you hold up almost ready. If you hold up, I can do 90% of things except for these big things. If you hold up, this person doesn't talk to me and they're with a third party. If you hold up, I don't know what's going on and life is really hard and it's hard to control my thoughts and I'm really depressed. If that's what you're holding up in front of your mirror, then that is what you are getting. So we need to be very cautious and conscious of what we are holding up in front of the mirror in any given moment. I'll link yesterday's video about worrying above here. Our duty to ourselves is to be aware of what we are thinking so that we do not manifest manifest a bunch of shit we don't want to experience because we have the choice. We have the power. And all it takes is awareness, knowing what we're thinking. I'll link that video from this week above as well. So if we are aware of what we are thinking, how do we control the living in the end aspect, okay? How do we deal with the moments where, yeah, I'm aware of the fact that I'm spiraling right now. I'm aware of the fact that the affirmations aren't working, okay? I'm aware of the fact that picturing a wedding ring on my empty ass finger is not working. I want you to think about your life as like a giant Netflix account, okay? And you can watch whatever the hell you want. You can watch 3 hours of something. You can watch 27 seasons of it. You can watch 1 second of it and decide it's not for you and turn it off. Now, let's say you find a Netflix show that has 15 seasons, okay? You are in for some show, right? When you sign on to that show, 15 seasons ready at your fingertips, whether you are on episode 1, very opening scene, or you're watching the very end, or you're watching any episode in between, you're still watching the same story and it's still moving towards that ultimate destination that is set in the script and in the story, okay? So I want you to think about living in the end this way. Let's say we choose a show that we really like. Let's call it the Love, Marriage, Kids, Happy, Healthy, Whole Career show. It's pretty common, right? Now, traditional law of attraction practices would have you say, okay, you must be last episode all the time. You are last episode only. Don't you fucking dare think about being episode 3, season 2. Don't even do it. Don't you dare do that. You go right to the end and you be that last episode only. But that's not really practical, right? Because what if you just started the series? What if you just started it and you're just on episode 2 and you don't know what's going to happen in between here? How do we know what's going to happen at the end if we haven't made it that far into the journey? Well, I want you to think about it like this. I want you to think about the fact that you could jump to episode 4, season 3 right now. You can jump to episode 8, season 1. I don't know why I'm saying the episodes first and the season second. It doesn't really matter, right? It's just a story, but you can jump to any episode at any time and you still have that last episode outcome. You still have that living in the end goal where the characters all do what they do and the story sums it up and it reaches the place that it was always driving towards to begin with, okay? That's your end. That's your living in the end. Let's say happy, healthy, whole marriage, thriving career, family, whatever you want. That's the last episode, okay? But that last episode had a season 2, episode 6. It had a story that got it to that point. And just because you're watching season 2, episode 6 does not mean that you are not going to get to that end episode. It does not mean that just because you're watching the middle of season 4 that you will not get to the end of season 15. You can watch season 4 and then you can watch season 9 if you want, then you can go back and watch season 1. If you want, then you can go watch season 15. You could watch that last episode. You could watch 20 times and you can come back and watch the first. It doesn't really matter, right? Because the show is the show. The show is already set in motion. You're choosing a reality that's already in play. So you don't need to worry about only watching that last episode and getting the whole picture and understanding the whole deal. You can watch episode 2 and episode 3 and episode 4 and episode 5. And then you can jump to episode 9 when it feels good and then you can go back to episode 4. The same is the truth for you and your reality, okay? So if we're looking at your timeline, let's say 5 years down the road, happy, healthy, whole relationship, building a family, careers thriving, businesses booming, helping millions of people, we're feeling amazing within ourselves, we're stepping into our power, we're understanding it, we're embodying what we want, okay? That version of us, that 5-year version of us, they had it today. They did something today. Or a lot of somethings that got them to where they were. They did something today that got them to that 5-year mark. Episode 2 had to happen in order for us to get to season 15, episode 20, right? Or whatever it is. That end of that show had to have a first episode and a second episode and a third episode and a second season and a fourth and a fifth season, okay? But just because it had those seasons does not mean that the end does not exist. And that's the way I want you to look at this living in the end thing. You can be any episode along the way in that series because we already know that the last episode is where we're going. And we already know that it's unfolding no matter what because we're choosing the outcome. We're choosing the reality. So if I am having a hard time stepping into, I am married, there's a ring on my finger, well, I can step into, I've dealt with all the stuff that was pushing my person away, and now I'm in a happy, healthy, whole relationship, loving myself and figuring out my business. Sometimes that's much more believable in the moment when you are spiraling, when you're trying to lie to yourself and pretend to yourself what's actually going on in your world. Well, bring that end goal way closer. You don't have to worry about manifesting the middle, because there really isn't a middle. There really isn't an end. Life is infinite. We are infinite beings. There is no middle or end. There is no beginning. So don't worry about that. Worry about keeping your mind frame where it needs to be. Reality that you are creating now, so that you can move into it as fast and harmoniously as possible. That's how you will get there. So I want you to comment down below, my reality is always under my control. My reality is always under my control. If you don't like the series you've started, turn it off immediately and start something else. You never have to continue watching the show you're watching on Netflix. The same goes for the realities that you're living in. If you don't like what you got, shut it down right now and start manifesting something different. Start perceiving a new reality right this very moment. You have the choice all the time. It's as easy as changing a Netflix show. You can step into a new version of yourself at any moment, simply by declaring it, intending it, acting like it, being of it, thinking that way, responding that way, shaping your mind to think the thoughts that that version of you thinks at any given time of the day. Now, my specific person workshop is getting an upgrade. I'm sure you've heard this a million times. This is the last week. You will be able to buy the OG version, where I actually teach you the class myself. It's a really intimate class. We get to get into the nitty-gritty of your relationship issues. I'm phasing that out, though I just can't really keep up with it. Even though I love to do it, it's just not something that's really viable anymore. So I'm making everything automated for you. You will be able to have access to that new system any day now. The new system will be $100 off during the lockdown once it launches. Now, in the meantime, you can still sign up for the OG version, where I actually teach you the class. Again, that's being phased out. As soon as the new system launches, the OG version is done, sold out forever, okay? So if you do want to get access to it, sign up ASAP, because it will be going away forever. And bonus, you'll still be able to have access to the automated course, and anybody who's ever signed up before will actually have access to the automated course as well. That's all available at my website, roxytalks.com. That link, of course, is in the description below. You can also sign up for one-on-one coaching, so we can discuss exactly how you can live in the end, or live in whatever part of the end you choose. One-on-one coaching is available at my website, roxytalks.com. I've also got exclusive merch, podcasts, and more. That's all at roxytalks.com. You can also join me on social media. I am on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Here on the Roxy Talks channel, I go live every Monday at noon-ish PST for Q&A, and I've got brand new videos out every Tuesday through Friday. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification so you never miss an update. And if you're feeling generous, please like and share. That helps us reach as many people as possible, and everyone deserves to know that they are in complete control of their reality. We're all raising our vibrations together. You have the power. I believe in you.